It's really ready to go.
Okay, Cicely! Okay, Cicely! Okay, Cicely!
Take me by the hand, take me by the hand,
Okay, Cicely!
take me by the hand, take me by the hand.
Okay, Cicely!
He, him, they, them. He, him, they, them. Some people just call me Fluffy. Me by the hand. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. What the fuck is he wearing? It's not Halloween. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man.
Okay, Cicely!
Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. Oh my god, have I been mad? Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. Oh my god, like that. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. Hey darling, you can smile more. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. That's what we fucking do. Fuck off! Ooh, take me by the hand. Ooh, Mr. Ocean Man. Ooh, take me by the hand. Ooh, Mr. Ocean Man. Yeah, she is all gangrenous. That's cute, you massive fucking soy cuck. He, him, they, them. Superficial bollocks. He, him, they, them. Spider monkey fucker. Some people just call me Fluffy. Holy shit. Yard, 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 yard. It's Captain Gay. Yes, of course it's Captain Gay. Yard, 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 yard. It's really ready to go. Here's some Hollywood posh bitch. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. Kitty fuck. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man.
Okay, Cicely!
Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. I'm gonna make one of your main balls. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. Oh my god, like that. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. Beat him into submission. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. Yada 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 yada. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. You got me. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. So fucking crazy. Ocean man, take me by the hand. Ocean man. Fuck off. Fire, fire, big pants flyer. One of them. So that went well. Let's move on. Choose player. It's oh look, what a coincidence! God damn, I hate this thing. I can't say the word tampon. There is nothing I love more. Taking my headphones off, fuck that. Bethesda, there is nothing I love more than to fire up a brand new RPG, lose myself.
Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what?
Fucking pronouns! I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can fucking current day us. Current fucking day! Fuck off! We can't see past our own fucking reflection. That's the level of our narcissism here at Bethesda Twat Waffle. That's all you fucking are! Twat Waffle! Fuck off! Fucking gender ambiguity! Fucking current day Californian shit! Cause that's all we fucking know! Cause we're boring! We're so fucking boring! You're boring! You're fucking dull! You have nothing to say! Fuck your immersion! Guess what? Fucking pronouns! You take everything we love and you just can't help! Shovel! You are dog shit! Fucking crap! Ideology! helps if I take the go.
I pressed the wrong button again. I'm new to this streaming malarkey. All right? I'm new to this. It's like my first stream or something. I don't know. But welcome to Afternoon Tea with us. It's the Odyssey one. Considering that is pretty much what everybody be talking about. And there's some interesting conversations to be had for sure. A lot of people taking victory laps because, well, it looks like the Odyssey is going to have a very good opening weekend. Was that ever in dispute? Does anybody know? Legit, chat, I'm opening up to you immediately. Does it? Oh, I've still got this.
I'm still. I'm new to streaming. Right? That was my homage to Sinon, the greatest of Greek soldiers to ever exist. I'm checking to make sure. Just checking to make sure I haven't got any. I do need more coffee. Right. I'm operating off 3 hours sleep. Okay. Look at them bags. I'm gonna run a freaking iron over my eyes today. Actually, it's getting a little bit racist there for a second, wasn't I was looking like one of Odysseus's crew members for a minute then. Wee, tough crowd. Fucking hell, tough crowd today. Holy crap. Wee, Chihuahua. Yeah, so there's been a lot of discourse. He's got raccoon eyes. He's tired. A lot of discourse, but opening up immediately to you guys, getting you involved straight away, and then we'll have a proper introduction. Does anybody know anyone that said that the Odyssey was going to flop on its own? I can't remember a soul. But correct, this is so that, correct me. Did anybody? I don't. Boobies. They might have. They might have. His eyes are felted. Right. I'm going to start a vlogging channel tomorrow and overshare my whole life. It made all the money it will ever make. Well, we're going to discuss the Odyssey's money and where it's going to land or potentially where it's going to potentially land. Sort of discuss the conversation around it and speculate, because that's all we can do, based off other performing films, where I think it's going to end. But I got some good news to start the show off with. Look, Vortex has been reattached to Bruticus because I sorted the arm joint I sorted it out. I fixed it. I had to break down the top half of Vortex so I could get into the bit to click the bit in. And then I had to so that the arm, because it's really stiff arm until it bent. So now you can't really tell from there, but it's actually a little bend in at the minute. So I just want to give a shout out to me. Shout out to me for spending time yesterday sorting that out. And let's start off with going day 66. Day 66. Woo! And look, the stars were all aligned for today. All England had to do was beat Argentina. You see, because today's the World Cup final. And if England had beaten Argentina, they would have been playing today. And today is day 66 for me. And 66 is the year that England won the World Cup. The one and only time. The stars had all aligned for this to happen. But day 66 and counting. Day 66, no fizzy pop, no energy drinks, no fast food. Home cooked meals by moi. I'm cooking my own food. What else? Day 1,300 and something maybe no alcohol. Not of alcohol. I don't want to ruin the super chat already, but Martino, I freaking wish I was emancipated. I wish. I want to look like an Ozempic zombie. Fucking hell, I look like a blow-up doll instead. Fuck's sake. But day 66, it's meant to be emaciated. I said emancipated, didn't I? I meant emaciated. 3 hours sleep. First day streaming ever. Give us come on. Jeez. Emancipated. I said what I said. I said what I said. But day 66, last week, of course, was day 59. So we're already balls deep into the 60s. Next week, it's going to be day 73. And then the week after, it's going to be day 80. And then we are knocking on the door of day 100. And I'm not doing pre-made meals anymore. I'm doing my own cooking. Chicken breasts, steaks, steamed vegetables. That's pretty much what I'm living off. And sparkling spring water and coffee, you know. And a bit of coffee. And that's what I'm living off. That is what I'm living off. Woo! Woo! So I'm oven cooking the chicken. I'm grilling the steaks. A little knob of butter on the steamed veg, which just adds that nice look, you know. Man. Some good shit. No sugar in the coffee. No. We're zero sugar. We're not We're not buying anything that's got sugar in. We're not eating anything sugary or drinking anything sugary. Now, I'm oven cooking the chicken. I'm not grilling my chicken. I'm oven cooking my chicken. Chicken breast, bit of salt, rub some olive oil over it in the oven, 40 minutes, 180 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. 180 for 40 minutes. Oh my. Delish. Delish. Have you noticed that water tastes sweet after having no sugar? I don't know about sweet, but the sparkling water absolutely feels like a treat. It's really bizarre. It's really bizarre that having a sparkling water just makes it just feels like a treat. It's really weird. Like, you know. But I kind of understand. I kind of understand what you mean, though. Yeah. And this doesn't have anything added to it. It's literally spring water and then carbonation. So, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Do you need a minute alone? Oh no, I'll fuck it on stream. Oh no. I nearly spat. All right. Settle down, DSP. It's okay. I've got porn open in another tab. I better not click onto it with the volume on. That would be embarrassing now, wouldn't it? But it's all gravy, baby. So, yeah, we got the World Cup final tonight as well. Espanyol versus the losers of the Falkland Islands. And yeah, good luck to all of those, you know. Good luck to all of those, you know. I don't care. England beat France yesterday. 6-4. 6-4. What the England 4-0 up at half time. I'm dancing in the streets of West Yorkshire, and I'm there like we've won the third place playoff. We can't throw away a 4-goal lead now, can we? Well, somebody forgot to tell France that at half time. And then as soon as the second half kicks off and France score, I'm like, no, but seriously, France, no, don't. And then a few minutes later, it's 4-2. And they've clawed 2 goals back. And then in the blink of an eye, it's 4-3 and they've clawed 4. And they've clawed 3. And when it got to 4-3, I was laughing. I was like, they're going to equalize. They're going to equalize, and then they're going to win. And it's going to be England 4, France 5. I honestly thought that's what was going to happen. I was laughing. I was just laughing. And then England, they scored again, 5-3. Nate, turn your caps lock off. I'll turn you off. And then I'm like, oh, it's okay, safe. We're safe. It's 90 minutes. England have made it 5-3. What could possibly happen? Well, France scored again. Making it 5-4. And I'm just like, no. No. And then Bellingham, who never turned up on Wednesday, but has been excellent in the tournament, scores an absolute blinder in the 98th minute to make it 6-4. Oh. And in a match that none of us cared about, suddenly we found something to care about. Our second best finish ever in a World Cup. Third. We'd lost 3 third place playoffs before. Italy, Belgium. Can't remember the other one. And yeah, so the winning third place playoff. It's a feel good. It's a feel good factor, guys. It's a feel good factor. Yes, I'm talking about tennis, obviously. But yeah, circling back, day 66. I've cooked all my food. My cupboards are empty. I've got a delivery coming from the supermarket after Sunday Fun Day, and then I will sleep. We've got a brand new game. No Kara today on Sunday Fun Day, but we've got a brand new game. Mr. Porkchop, myself, QBG. We're going to be playing a brand new game. You have to wait and find out. You're going to have to wait and find out what it is. But it's not Power World 1.0. No. It's not Power World. It's something different. Something different. Something new. Something borrowed. Something blue. I don't know, some shit like that. I'm gonna put up a poll because we're gonna crack on today. Now it's a bit. Did you enjoy the Odyssey? And obviously, this is to the people who've seen it, which I imagine. A few of you have. Okay. So we're just going with simple answers. 3 options. Did you enjoy the Odyssey? We're talking about Christopher Nolan's. Not any other version. We're not trying to be funny. Yes, no, it was okay. Yes, no, it was okay. Now, if you haven't seen it, but a lot of you have, and massive thank you to everyone who's watch the review video. I do have a review video up. It's nearly an hour long. It's probably my most contemplative, calm video that I've ever done. And I'm not being sarcastic either. I was really trying to break down the film comparative to, well, Homer's Odyssey. We know that this is based off the Emily Wilson version, which is essentially a feminist demasculation. What a surprise! A stunning and brave. And because it's based off the Emily Wilson version, you know why they've made the casting choices that they made, because one of it really pains me to say this, you know. And it pains me in as much as why do we have to fucking deal with idiots all the time? Anyway, Emily Wilson said that one of the things that she didn't like about the Odyssey, one of the things that she couldn't come to terms with the Odyssey, was the fact that it was a straight white patriarchal story where the white, as she says, this is what she says, the white guys go off and they kill the foreign threat. So that's why the film had to have inclusion and diversity. They didn't include any Greeks, which was a little bit odd. It was a choice, I guess. It was a choice. But they did make sure that Odysseus had some Asians, a Japanese, a Korean, an Indian, some black dudes. And if you've seen the video, my favorite bit of the whole film is when an Indian guy and a black guy go up to a Greek villager and say, "We're Greeks from Ithaca." And I actually laughed. I actually laughed. It's like, but you're not though, are you? but you're not, are you? You're Indian. And then, of course, and that actually does happen. I everything that I'm going to say, it's not, unless I say joke, it's actually factual. It actually happened. And you get these wonderful bad faith arguments online. And I love me some bad faith arguments. Because if you can argue the point, normally you don't have to resort to bad faith. So when you have to argue from a bad faith position, you're already essentially admitting that you have no ability to defend whatever it may be, the casting, etc. In this case, the casting. So I saw a picture online of Odysseus's Indian, and I mean Indian as in neighbors of Pakistan, in case some people think I'm referring to Native Americans or whatever they want to call themselves nowadays, two spirits, I don't know. His second in command is an Indian guy, Himesh Patel, played by Himesh Patel. And I saw this picture online of Himesh Patel. And I saw a picture online of one of the Asian, I think it was the Korean, the Korean shipmate. And there were two Asians. And somebody had put Christopher Nolan, or something like Christopher Nolan wants you to believe that these are Greeks. And then I saw the wonderful bad faith response. And the bad faith response was Christopher Nolan hired two actors to be Greek. That was their counter. And that response had like 13,000, 19,000 likes. So I've been busy. I know I have only had 3 hours sleep, but I've actually been busy today doing stuff around the house. And what I was going to do is I was going to take the picture of whichever it was, Himesh Patel or the Asian guy. And then I was going to get a PNG of a cat's head. And then I was going to put it on top of the face of Himesh Patel or the Asian dude. And then I was going to put Christopher Nolan's hired a cat to play a Greek and then had that guy's response above saying Christopher Nolan has hired an actor to play a Greek. Because it's the same fucking thing, dude. It's the same fucking thing. If you want us to believe that Indians and black dudes and Asian dudes, Koreans and Japanese people are Greeks, then you might as well have a fucking cat and a dog and a fucking cow and a garden hoe and a washing machine. Because it's all the same then. It's all the same. It's the same suspension of disbelief that you want. So it don't matter then, does it? Come on. Somebody cast a broom in one of your movies. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a fucking pussy. I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see it in full effect. I want to see Odysseus turn to one of his crew members and it's just a fucking broom with armor hanging off it. Actually, that broom studied at RADA. Do something like that. But yeah, so I got this 55-minute review. Again, big thank you to everyone who's watched it. My final result was 5 out of 10. It was a distinctly average. To me, this is my opinion. 5 out of 10, distinctly average. There were some things that I liked in it. There was stuff that I didn't like about it. There was a lot of frustrating things because they were operating off the Emily Wilson version and not Homer's Odyssey. And so Odysseus was pretty much a fucking retard the whole time. Pretty much a retard the whole time. So things like with the Cyclops, they changed that, which didn't work because they already, instead of having, because in the Odyssey from Homer, the Cyclops can communicate and does communicate. In this version, the Cyclops doesn't. And the reason why the Cyclops doesn't communicate in this version is that, we've hit the goal. We've hit the goal. So I'm going to get onto the phone after this stream. And we're going to, I'm going to get onto my mate, Big Nolan. And I'm going to say, hey, Big Nolan, Odyssey 2? And he's going to go, yeah, Odyssey 2. It's Morbin time. But Martino, thank you so much. But as you know, Martino, the grift is ever present. So we'll set a new goal. Chris Nolan will make the Odyssey, whoops, 2 S's, 1 E, sorry, the Odyssey 2, but this one, instead of a Morbin, we did Morbin time, it's going to be the Odyssey 2, what should we go with? The Odyssey 2... We did its Morbin time. Oh, yeah. The Odyssey 2. Creme brulee. How the fuck do you spell brulee? Hold on. Did I get that right? No. Hold on. Cram. What the frick? Brulee. Okay. They don't know. So it's gonna be creme brulee. Strikes back. Oh my god, that I would watch that. I would watch the shit out of that. Oh yeah, so in the we'll break up the super chats into sections this one. Because obviously I think there's already a lot of people with stuff to say. So I want to give you guys the floor. I've done my review. Go check it out. I've done my review. So let's today's more about opening up the floor to you guys. What you have to say, any questions that you have, all that good stuff. But in this version, that apparently the Cyclops does not want to communicate because the Cyclops deems, according to the Greek soldiers as ants. Why would you communicate with an ant? Oh, okay. Whereas when they communicate in the Odyssey, Odysseus tells the Cyclops that he's nobody. And so when they blind the Cyclops and like, who's attacked you? Nobody. Nobody's attacked me. And then, of course, you have Odysseus's arrogance once he gets out of the cave. He tricks the Cyclops by going out with the sheep, and then he gloats that it was Odysseus. It is I, Odysseus, who have fucking done you a good un. And therefore it allows the Cyclops to pray to his father, Poseidon, and that's what causes Odysseus to be knocked off course and all that kind of stuff. And there's a huge bone of contention with the crew, but they fucked up that bit in this version. They merged the Lotus Eaters with Calypso. Now, I get that some things potentially have to be cut down or whatever for brevity's sake due to running time, but this is a near 3-hour movie. A near 3-hour movie. And somebody did a breakdown of screen time, and Telemachus, Tom, our boy Tom, Telemachus is on the screen for 50% of the film. Odysseus is on the screen for 95% of the film, but Telemachus is on for 50%. And there was a lot of stuff on Ithaca. And I know there's a lot of stuff on Ithaca in the book, but the stuff on Ithaca, it didn't really add that much. So if I am no filmmaker and I am absolutely no Christopher Nolan, but to me, it would have just seemed logical to cut down the time in Ithaca and give that time to the travels. So no, they didn't. Did they start off raid? They did a very brief raid when they first leave Troy, a very brief one. But they didn't then go to the Lotus Eaters. They bypassed the Lotus Eaters. And then, as I said, what they did is they combined the Lotus Eaters with Calypso, which changed that substantially. Because in the Odyssey, he's got all of his memories. And he's on the shore. He's on the shore crying for his family, his wife, and stuff like that. So in this version, Calypso gives him the Lotus and he forgets about it all. And then they don't really address Zeus passing the message to Calypso to send Odysseus back home. It's time. He's being allowed to go back home. And then, of course, he stops off again before he gets back to Ithaca, meets some lovely people. They give him a boat and all that good stuff. But they bypass that as well. They bypass the siren. Well, they skip through the sirens like a dodgy curry coming out of somebody's fucking anus. Whoosh, and it's over. Which is a bit of a shame. And they actually had one of the crew members die by jumping over the boat to get to the sirens. None of the crew die in the sirens in the Odyssey. But for some reason, this guy wants to rip the wax out from his ears and jump into the. But it was okay because it was one of the Asian dudes, and they shouldn't have been there anyway. So, yeah. The giants, who are cannibals in the Odyssey, they're not that giant, and they just slaughter his men. In this, they literally, again, they absolutely breeze through the giant section. So they're not these huge cannibal giants. They're just a couple of feet taller, three or 4 feet taller. And in armor, and they just go around. They just literally come out of nowhere and start hacking them all to pieces. So yeah. What's the sticker on my shirt? Oh, it's embroidery. It's not a sticker. It's part of the design of the t-shirt. It's an embroidery. It's a bit of embroidery. D555. Oh, was about that. So that just becomes sort of like a generic slaughter as opposed to like the horror of the cannibalism. Boobs. And there's a weird bit where the soldiers get they sort of run, and then like a couple of twigs are in their way, and then they turn around and they've kind of run into a cage made out of sticks, and then they just all get hacked to pieces. And it's just, well, I say hacked to pieces. For an R-rated film, this is very safe, very sanitized. There's no major violence. There's no gore. And then the giants destroy the 2 out of the 3 ships that Odysseus has. And people who saw the film, am I going crazy? But I only remember the Odysseus having 3 ships the whole time. I only remember him having 3 ships the whole time until it was down to just his ship. In the Odyssey, Homer's Odyssey, he has 12. Doesn't he have 12 ships? He has 12 ships when he leaves Troy. And I thought that was a weird decision, because obviously when you got 12 ships, there's a lot of men. And then when you start to have the ships destroyed, then you can physically see the weight of the loss of soldiers. But when there's only 3 ships and 2 of them go, it's kind of, it doesn't have the same sort of weight. It feels like Nolan just really wanted to concentrate on Odysseus's ship, which he did anyway. We didn't get any time with the other 2 ships. They were just there. So everything was just set on the Odysseus's ship anyway. They kind of breezed past the whirlpool. The Hades segment I actually liked. I mean, they changed it, of course, because they had Sinon, who wasn't even in the Odyssey. They weren't even in the Iliad either. They were in like a text from like 200 years later or something. But Sinon is 100% a proxy. Yeah, the Scylla was really, I mean, it was over like that, and it was really basic. Jaded Fetters we've hit 2 goals already. We need more sequels. Jaded Fett, thank you. So, okay, we're going to go to the Odyssey 3. The search for more gender-affirming care. There we go. We got it. Boom. And it Jaded Fett, we'll get to that. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, the Hades, but yeah, so Ellen Page is 100% a proxy for Achilles. 100%. We don't even have Achilles at all in the Hades section. Achilles' name, I believe, is just mentioned once in the whole film. That's all. It's just mentioned once. And the reason why Odysseus doesn't follow Agamemnon back home and goes his own way is because he says, I don't want to I've followed this man enough over the last 10 years. Because in this version, Odysseus regrets sacking Troy, regrets coming up with the idea for the wooden horse that they used to sack Troy, and he regrets it. So he's got his PTSDs. He's got his Trojan PTSDs. So Odysseus is he's a retard for pretty much all of this until he gets back to Ithaca, when actually he actually grows some bollocks and becomes a wee bit more take charge. But he makes a lot of retarded decisions as opposed to following the Odyssey, because again, we're operating off the Emily Wilson, and it's about deconstructing the patriarch, the patriarchal society. Oppenheimer 2, Nagasaki Boogaloo. It could happen. And so I think Matt Damon's performance, which was like, is fine, but it wasn't, didn't command the stage. I think his performance was down a lot to Christopher Nolan's direction. I truly do. I think Christopher Nolan pulled back his reins. But there you go. The Cersei bit was good. I mean, I enjoyed that bit. Again, significantly changed. But the way that they did the transformation of the men to the pigs was good. I like that. And by the way, I like the Hades section, not Ellen Page. Fuck that stupid piece of noise. Because they were terrible, by the way. Their acting was abysmal. Abysmal. You can't take somebody seriously. They're speaking like this, you know, it's been, I'm on hormones and lots of medication, you know. It's like, fuck off, man. As I titled my review, The Death of Verisimilitude, because there were just too many things in this film that pulled you out. Be it the music, be it Travis fucking Scott being hey, I'm a say my poem and I'm gonna say it like this and I'm motherfucking Odyssey, motherfucker. Oh my God. The language that was used, because the script was bad. It was bad. The Viking ships that they were on. Fucking hell. You know, the crew members, the casting, the inclusion and diversity. Helen of fucking Troy. I know that they went to war for 10 years for Helen. I wouldn't go to fucking Tesco's for her. Never mind to fucking war. I wouldn't go to Tesco's. But Lupita Nyong'o had less than 5 minutes of screen time. I think it came out at 4 minutes, 38 seconds or something. And Ellen Page came out at, I think it was 5 minutes, 8 seconds or something. Just over 5 minutes. But Lupita Nyong'o is like, has less than 5 minutes as both Helen and Clytemnestra. And she's... This is a very washed out film, right? You've got Zendaya as Athena. Now, Zendaya is a pretty woman. She's a pretty woman, okay? Is she the most beautiful? I wouldn't say so, and I don't mean that nastily. But she's very pretty. I think she's pretty, right? And when she dolls herself up, she looks very pretty. Look, it's all about taste. It's all subjective. It might not work for you, but I think she's pretty. She looked minging in this film. She looked washed out and minging. She was as washed out as the color palette of the whole film. And this is meant to be Athena. She looked way prettier on the red carpet. Way prettier on the red carpet. She came to the red carpet dressed as an angel, and she looked very pretty. But I guess you couldn't do that. And then Lupita Nyong'o, she looked... I just gotta call it... She looked like a fucking minger in the film. She looked like a fucking minger. And they scarred her a little bit. And they absolutely implied that Menelaus scarred her after the fall of Troy, which, as you'll probably know, did not happen at all. Quite the opposite. Menelaus was actually going to execute Helen after the fall of Troy. But when he saw her, he was absolutely broken by her beauty again. And they went back to Sparta and lived happily ever after. And there is another interpretation where he didn't just see her face, he saw her naked breasts. And that just made him, I'm not killing this woman. I'm taking her back to Sparta. Lupita Nyong'o was a fucking minger in this. I wouldn't have had a wank and thrown it at her. And we've got to believe that is the face that launched 1,000 ships. Again, the death of verisimilitude. You can't believe that for 1 minute. And then for some stupid reason that I don't understand, they decide to have her play Clytemnestra as her identical sister, which they were not. Helen was a child of Zeus, and Clytemnestra wasn't. So if Helen was the face that launched 1,000 ships, and probably that's due to the fact that she's a child of Zeus and has probably that sort of godlike beauty. Well, Clytemnestra had exactly the same face, so why was nobody bothered about her? It didn't make sense. Disprew's review was fantastic. If you haven't seen Disprew's review, go check it out because it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So it made no sense that you'd have two people with the same face, but one was the face that launched 1,000 ships and the other wasn't. Make it make sense. Somebody just typed that as well. Make it make sense. It didn't make any sense. At least with Clytemnestra and Agamemnon's story, they got that right. He returned back. He was bathed. He was made soft. And then he was murdered in the bath by Clytemnestra and her lover. Because the motivation that they gave for Clytemnestra killing Agamemnon was because he sacrificed their daughter to the gods. Whereas Clytemnestra had taken on a lover and killed Agamemnon when he got back. But they didn't show their son killing Clytemnestra and her lover. They didn't have that, though. They didn't have that. They decided to leave that bit out for some reason. So John Berthel as Menelaus, he didn't really have anything to get his teeth into. Yeah, I wonder why they left that out. I wonder why. So the whole Lupita Nyong'o Helen of Troy bit was a joke. It was an absolute joke. And it was 100% valid criticism on the casting. 100%. And it's not just the casting, like I said, it's the fact that they made her also play her sister, which didn't make sense because Helen was a child of Zeus and Clytemnestra was not. Makes no sense. Baby doobies. So as I mentioned, they have they combined the Lotus Eaters with Calypso, which significantly changes Calypso's story, because instead of, well, being an evil rapist, which she was holding Odysseus against his will for what, 7 years, wasn't it? 7 years? And she was forcing him to sleep with her. But this time, because he ate the lotus and forgot about his family, they inferred that he fell in love with Calypso and Calypso fell in love with him, and therefore that made their sexual relations consensual. But what did Zeus get? Was it Zeus sent a message via Ares to Calypso? Is that correct? Was it Ares that delivered Zeus's message to her to release Odysseus and allow him to return home? Via Hermes. Via Hermes, yeah. So they didn't have any of that at all. In actual fact, apart from Zendaya appearing as Athena to Odysseus every now and again, you wouldn't have known that there were gods. You would have never have known. Now, some people say, but what do you mean? Because when he leaves the Cyclops, the storm hits the sea. Storms hit the sea. Storms hit the sea. So you were kind of working off almost a suspension of disbelief that the gods existed. So you didn't kind of feel the presence of Zeus or Poseidon or whatever. And the rule of the rule of Zeus's law and welcoming strangers, that just, well, they do mention Poseidon's name. They do mention that the Cyclops was Polyphemus. Is it Polyphemus? The Cyclops was praying to Poseidon. They do say that he was praying to Poseidon. Now, of course, Athena does appear throughout the course of the Odyssey in the poem. And again, they very briefly kind of skirt over the sacred flock. Again, it's breezed over. They land. It literally cuts to them. We're here. We've got some provisions. We just need to wait for the wind to pick up or whatever it is. And then it like cuts and they're just like, we're out of supplies. We're hungry. I want to eat the cattle. And then they eat. And it's just like, oh, well, that was over quick. So there is so much skimming over the actual voyage itself. And I think way too much time spent at Sparta. But if you want to go through my whole review, because I'm gonna open up the floor now to the super chats and what people have got to say. But there was a lot of skimming over, and there was a lot of retarded Odysseus. And the Circe bit, again, the Circe bit, they cut down drastically. They changed it drastically. He didn't stay with Circe. He didn't take Circe as a lover. He didn't threaten Circe and break her through violence. All of that was gone. But the transformation into the pigs bit was very well done. It was very well done. Righty, let's see what you guys and girls got to say about stuff and things. Big PD's gifted a membership, thank you. And Martino gifting 10 memberships to the stream. Martino, thank you. Snex says with a $5, don't know why Nolan insisted on making Helen of Troy black. There's already an African version of the Odyssey. It's called The Gods Must Be Crazy. Again, it was the casting choice was pure DEI. There's no way that he casted Lupita Nyong'o because she was such an incredible actress, because she was fucking, admittedly, she didn't have much to go with, but she was crap the whole time. No, it was pure DEI. Pure DEI decision. We're dealing with the Emily Wilson version, remember? And one of Emily Wilson's gripes about, it's not about Oscars, it's about following the Emily Wilson. Because what Emily Wilson's version of the Odyssey is seeing the Odyssey, and this is literally the way she says it, for audience. So they want the Odyssey to be seen as a today's multicultural Western society. So that's why decisions like that were made. It's like she doesn't want to see it through the lens of ancient Greece and the sensibilities that they had then. No, she wants to see it through a feminist, modern, far left, ideological, multicultural, non-patriarchal. So that's why there are Asian members of his crew, black members of his crew, Indian members of his crew, white Western European members of his crew, American. That was another thing. This isn't a stab at Americans, because I work with Americans every fucking week of my life for this gig. But having American accents for all the characters was really jarring. It didn't work. But again, it was about modernity. It was about modernity. Oh, there were plenty of Latinos. No, there were plenty of Latinos. Most of them were Trojans. No Greeks, though. No Greeks. Burnouts with the $5 says, do you think the Odyssey is front-loaded like an MCU film? Does it share the same demos as Spider-Man? Will the second week drop-off be steep? Okay, that's a good question. They won't have the numbers yet, no. But it's opened up. It's Friday, which is the Friday take plus the Thursday preview. The Friday take was 51 million. And the preview, I think, was 17.6 or something. So, 51, 41. Let's just say 35 for argument's sake. So the Friday took 35 million. And the Saturday took about 17 million. Sorry, the Thursday took about 17. So combined Friday, 51 million. So Saturday will probably do more than the Friday. So you could be looking at a 40, 42, 45 million Saturday, potentially. And then Sunday going to about a 32 to 35. So add on another 70. I would say it's going to do about 125. I reckon it's going to do about 125 million domestic opening weekend. And then probably around another 125, 130, 140 international. So I think it's going to have a worldwide after this weekend of about 270. around about there. So about 270. Do I think there's going to be a steep drop off next week? I think it's going to be steady away. It doesn't have anything to worry about next week. Spider-Man's not coming for another 2 weeks. So it doesn't have to worry about Spider-Man for another nearly 2 weeks. So I think it's going to be very steady away. Maybe a drop off of around 45%. I actually think it's going to be that steady. There is, regardless of how I feel about it, there is good word of mouth going around. There is seemingly a lot of positivity about the film going around. I can only imagine they haven't seen it. No, but seriously. So I think it's going to have an effect on people seeing it next week. I think that's going to allow it to stay steady. So I don't see a huge drop off this next weekend. I don't see it. And I think the week after is going to remain steady as well. When Spider-Man comes out, that's going to do all the money. That's looking to have an absolutely monstrous opening. Monstrous. But I'm just going to shut down your super chat because I just want to show something to you. So let's just say, for argument's sake, it opens up to 125 million domestic. Okay? Let's just draw a couple of comparisons. There's a lot of there's a thing going around saying it's the highest grossing domestic release this year. No, it's for the opening. It's not. For live action, yes. But there are two films which are probably going to do better than it in the opening weekend. So let's just bring those two movies up. The first one is still at the box office right now, of course, and it's Toy Story 5. So Toy Story 5, if we look at Toy Story 5, that opened up to 100, let's just say round it up 160. So if the Odyssey is going to open up to around about 125 million, it's stat time, folks. We like stat time. Toy Story 5 opened to 160 domestic. Now, Toy Story 5 has only been out for 29 days at the minute. And where is it in terms of box office? It's on, again, just rounding up, 900 million worldwide, right? Toy Story is Universal. The Odyssey is R-rated. So I think that will have a slight effect. But this is just going to give you an idea about if that's got to 900 million after 30 days and is starting off 35 to 40 million ahead of the Odyssey domestically, tracking probably the same internationally, then at the same point in time, the Odyssey, I imagine, would be on about 750-ish if it remains consistent. So it could be on about 750 million by then. The other movie was Super Mario Galaxy. Now, Super Mario Galaxy, admittedly, it opened up on a Wednesday and not a Thursday. And it did 190 million in its opening weekend, but it had an extra day. So I'm going to take a day away and go to the previous day, 158. Again, very similar to Toy Story 5. This, of course, it's run its course at the box office, and it went for 93 days. Again, it's a Universal film for kids. The Odyssey is R-rated. And after 93 days, it clawed just over $1 billion. So where do I think the Odyssey will go? Where do I think the Odyssey will land, will finish? I think that the Odyssey is going to finish around about 850 million. I think it's going to end on around about 850 million. Now, let's say that's the case, okay? Let's just say I've absolutely gleaned that one, and it does end on 850 million. Does that make the Odyssey a success? Is it highly profitable? Is it a failure? Is it a flop? What is it? Okay. Well, that's where we have to go to its budgets. The production budget is 250 million. The marketing budget has been projected at 125 million. So you add those two up, 375. So we're going to times that by 2 because the box office, 55% domestic, 40% international, 25% China. And take into consideration, there's also a staggered international release with the Odyssey as well. So there will have other countries coming in as time's ticking away. But if we do that, 375 million times 2, that means the Odyssey has to hit around about 750,000 to break even. This is not too much maths at all. We fucking love this shit. We love this shit. We like to know exactly where we sit. So if the break-even point for the Odyssey is 750 and it makes 850, it's profitable to the tune of about 100 million. Oh, what millions? Yeah, whatever I said, million. So it'd make about 100 million. Now that would be profit. That would be profit. Would you call it a rip-roaring success? That's going to be in the eyes of the beholder. Do I think that they want $1 billion plus on this movie? Yes. If they hit $1 billion, they'd probably be hitting around 250 million profit. So I would say if they did 100 million profit, it's a profit, it'd be okay. Is it what they wanted? Probably not as much as they wanted. I think they want a little bit more. But it would not be a flop. That would, for something to be a flop, it's got to lose money. You can't make $100 million profit and be called a flop. No. It's underperformed might be a little bit harsh if it did that. I would say they're okay with that, but it didn't hit expectations. That's what I would say. But that is working off that things pan out the way that I've described. You never know. This film might take off. You know, it might even might have a 30% drop off and it just takes off. It also might slow down significantly. We don't know. So this is why I've not been engaging with bad faith people like Angry Jose, who's just like, it's a massive success. Look, everyone loves it. Fuck the chuds. All that. That's why I'm not engaging with fucking idiots like that, because they don't understand. They don't understand that this is a long game. This was always expected to have a big opening. The question is, how are the legs of this film gonna go? How much legs is this film gonna have? That's the interesting one. Because let's just say, like I said, I think it's going to drop about 45%. I think it's going to have a pretty low drop and a decent hold. But if it didn't, let's say it drops 65%, I would be shocked. I would be shocked, and that would change everything as regards to where it's probably gonna go. But I think word of mouth at the minute is certainly more positive than negative. And I think that is going to help it. It's certainly being helped by the media glazing it. And the IMAX pre-sales were huge. They were huge. So next week is going to be very intriguing, and then the week after again is going to be very intriguing, because this isn't one where, well, if you want to gloat now, I would urge you to be cautious, because this isn't one where it's like a Supergirl. You can see that it's a disaster and it's not going to make its money. But Superman, I just want to bring this to your attention. Superman, which had a good domestic hold, but its international couldn't carry it. Superman opened to 125 million domestic, which will be there or thereabouts where the Odyssey is likely going to go. Superman ended up taking 616. So you just never know, and that's with decent domestic hold. So you just never know what could happen. But this story isn't over. There's more to this story to come. But it's a waiting game. We've got to just wait and see now. Wait and see. Martino with a 10 Swiss says, loved the Odyssey. Kirk Douglas and Anthony Quinn were superb. No amount of digital trickery can beat 1954 Technicolor. I tell you what, one of the things that I have to praise Nolan on and give him his flowers, I believe is the saying nowadays, is a lot of it was practical. Even the Cyclops was practical. It was a practical built puppet that they, overlaid with CGI, but it was a practical puppet that they created for that. The ships were made, even though they were fucking Viking ships and not. But there was good use of practical effects in this. So I do have to give him props for that. Sean Tower with a 50 Canadian. My crystal ball. Hollywood will lie, claim success, even if it doesn't make $1 billion. Needs 1.4. It doesn't need 1.4 to break even at all. They will use this abomination. I imagine that you're talking about the Odyssey here. They will use this abomination of a film as justification for more DEI and wokeness. The fanboys who only care for spectacle and nothing for story will simp. Well, first of all, it absolutely doesn't have to hit anywhere near 1.4 billion to break even. It needs to hit about 750 million. That it might 750 to 800, but I always like to err on the side of caution. I would rather give a low ball number than a high ball number. So with what's been provided to us, 125 million marketing, 250 production, it's got to hit 750 to break even. So that's what it's got to do. But I do agree that if they don't hit $1 billion, they'll be disappointed. I do think that's the threshold they're looking for to break, is the 1 billion mark. That's why my speculation that it's going to end on around 850, which would put them in about 100 million profit, maybe a bit less, maybe, you know, as low as 50 million profit. It's still a profit, but you know they're going to be disappointed. You know that it's not hit the expectations that they wanted it to hit. It's not a flop, it's not a failure, but it's not hit that number that they want. Do I see it getting anywhere close to 1.4? No. I don't think it's going to hit 1 billion. Like I said, I don't think it's going to hit 1 billion. When Spidey comes out, that's going to take a lot of people, I think. They're going to try and make something of it. Go see Spidey, but it won't work the way that Barbieheimer worked. But Spider-Man could take could take a decent chunk of its audience. Jeremy says 1.2 billion. I don't see that. I don't see that. It would have to have exceptional legs for that to happen. It would have to, and especially when I've gone through the Super Mario Galaxy and the Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5's probably, is it going to hit 1 billion? Yeah, maybe. Toy Story 5 might squeeze to 1 billion. So the Odyssey would have to perform incredibly well to do 1.2. It would have to have insane legs, and I just don't see it. Spider-Man's been touted at almost 500 million worldwide opening. That's where the projections are for Spider-Man. Near 500 million worldwide opening weekend. We'll see. We'll see how close they are with that speculation, but that's what Spider-Man's looking at a monster opening. 180, 190 domestic, I think. That's what they're eyeing up. But it's it's looking to be huge. Absolutely huge. And it can't get any IMAXs, by the way. Mags London with a £2 says, welcome to Az's first ever stream. I'm a rookie, don't you know? I'm a rookie. Thank you, Mags. Appreciate you. Big PD with a $2 says, I hope Odyssey loses its legs. I don't see it happening in the first weekend drop. But again, who knows what Spider-Man's going to do? Who knows what Spider-Man's going to do? Because the thing about Spider-Man is if the Odyssey's got good legs and Spider-Man is actually not that good, that could actually force people to go back into the Odyssey theaters. So you never know. You never know. But if Spider-Man is very well received, then the word of mouth will start to shift more towards that. It'd be interesting to see what effect that will have on the Odyssey's box office. I might have to run downstairs and get a drink. Or should I just get some... Oh, I've got a tinsy... I do have some flat water in my bedroom. I could grab a little bit of that. I just felt the voice getting a bit dry. Beach Lover with a €2 says, I think it'll flop because it's depressing. It's certainly not an uplifting film. It's very, I called it very dry. It's a very dry film. There isn't really any levity in it. I'm not asking for silly jokes, but there's not really any levity. It's long. It's R-rated. These could go against it, but word of mouth will send some people there for absolute sure. For absolute sure. But yeah, it's I am not inclined in any capacity to see this film ever again. I'll happily watch other Nolan stuff. I'll happily watch, because he's done some great stuff. But I'll never see this film, unless it's on somebody's TV in somebody's house that I'm at. I have no inclination to ever see this again. Once was enough for me. Thank you. Which is a shame, because it would have, I think we're missing a lot of fantasy. We're missing a lot of fantasy on our cinemas right now. And mythology as well. We're missing really good mythology. And I don't think this is good mythology. I don't see why it's an R-rated either. The violence is very tame. There is a couple of F-bombs. But I don't see how this is R-rated. It was a 15 in the UK. And after I saw it, I was like, why was that a 15? That should have been a 12 or a 12A or a 12. To me, there was nothing that a 12-year-old couldn't see in it. It's bizarre. Martino with a 10 Swiss was gone for a couple of weeks, come back to an emaciated, an emaciated as joke. You are looking at fire. Day 66. Day 66. We're back on the grind. We're back on the grind. That day 3 is now turned into to a day 66. It's because it's got 2 F-bombs. Yeah, I think you're allowed 1. And I'll be honest with you, there was no reason for 2 F-bombs. There was no reason whatsoever. I don't even know why they were there. I really don't. They didn't have any effect on the story. It didn't punctuate anything or highlight anything. I don't know why they were there. 3 hours sleep and counting. Thank you, Martino. Big PD81 with a $5 says, hey, lads, congratulations on 66. Great job. Keep going one day at a time. Exactly. One day at a time. One day at a time. That day 3 is now day 66. It's amazing how quickly it can all come together. Next week, it will be 73. But let's get there first. Charlie Brown is a winner with a $5. Says, well, you're still under a Labour government, so you wish you were emancipated. Correct. Get me out of here. I want to divorce them. And by them, I mean my fucking country. Chats mum with a 5 Swiss says, no emancipation for you, sorry. The cynical crusader with a 5 poons. It begins tomorrow as dieting and exercising time to go see the Six Nations next year. Feeling good with Argentina being destroyed in rugby yesterday. Yeah, the England rugby union team managed to defeat Argentina. Football team couldn't do that. But Ministry of Wrong Think with a $5 says IMAX being backed up for weeks. It is. It's sold out for weeks. will have hilarious effects on week-to-week numbers. The Odyssey could look like a concurrent player chart on Steam. Yeah, I mean, like I said, Spider-Man's not gonna have any. It's not getting any because the Odyssey's got it all booked up. And yes, there's a lot of future sales for the IMAX as well. Remember, excuse me, IMAX tickets more expensive than regular tickets. That's always a good boost to the box office numbers. Beach Lover with a €5 says many games were rigged. The VAR decisions were often horrific. So many ruled out goals across all games. Yeah, there were some weird decisions. I think, like I said, I think Egypt got robbed. I think Egypt got robbed against Argentina. And Croatia got robbed against Portugal as well. That goal at the end, 100% should have stood for Croatia. Mexi Rage with a $2 says, I hope Argentina wins because the leader is based. Hail. Yeah. D. Bannon with a 38-month membership. Thank you. An Epic Reader dropping a 10 gifted memberships to the stream. Thank you, Epic Reader. Boobies. Mayans has become a member. Thank you. And Mayans with a 6 shekels says, I can't wait to pirate this cringe buffet. I mean, it's already up for pirate, by the way. Just FYI. It's already up. But I'll be interested to see if you finished it. I went to the cinema. I needed to see it as it was intended, particularly with a Nolan film, because his sound mixing tends to be horrendous. And it was horrendous in this film as well. So I needed to see everything the way it was intended to make my review as authentic as I could possibly make it. If I had fucking pirated this, I don't think I would have finished it. I don't think I would have finished it. I don't think I would have cared to. Basil with a $5 says self-improvement is a difficult journey, but every journey starts with a single step. Keep on going with maximum effort as your Yorkshire badass. We're not quite at maximum effort, but we soon will be. Ministry of Wrong Thing with a $5 says the USA was out. I was rooting for the UK. England. We don't play as a United Kingdom. We play as individual countries. Because I know how much your unsafe comment, political leaders hate seeing English flags and patriotism. Yeah, there were calls by councils to not put up St. George's crosses because they might offend. Go fuck yourself. The Prophet with a 2 Australian says the SpongeBob movie did the Odyssey better. Tall, Dark, and Gruesome with a 74-month membership. Wow. Tall, Dark, and Gruesome. Thank you. Burbshid with a 2 Australian says Queensha, Rakesh, and Tyrone carried the film. I reckon so. I reckon so. Ministry of Wrong Thing with a $10 says, hey, remember when that lady was complaining to the 3,000-year-old writer about her screen time? Then they made her character a twin just so it wouldn't be a token black actress in the movie. Amazing. Well, just imagine Lupita Nyong'o complaining about screen time and then having less than 5 minutes combined in the whole movie with your two characters. I guess Nolan couldn't find any more screen time for you. Beach Lover with a €10 said it was a similar deconstruction to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Nolan turned the witty masculine hero Odysseus into an old, guilt-ridden man with PTSD. Yeah. It was a deconstruction of the straight, white, patriarchal male and the white heroicism defeating the foreigner. Oh God, I hate these people so much. I fucking hate them so much. Malcolm Tucker with a $20 says, I missed you last week live due to an air conditioner problem and inheriting a kitty that looks like Belle. Oh, she's keeping my older cats in order. Oh, Malcolm, that sounds awesome, dude. That sounds awesome. Pics on social media. White Noise 85 with a $20 says it felt like it was a high school's acting class rendition of the Odyssey because of the casting. I was very disappointed with some of the performances. I was very disappointed with Tom Holland. I like Tom, but his Telemachus was as vanilla as they could come. It felt like Grecian, although he's not Greek, Peter Parker. So I was very disappointed. Anne Hathaway was overacting. Larry, it's on the front. It's on the front, my front page. It's on my home page. On the banner, you'll see a PayPal link on the banner, mate. I don't tend to advertise it, but that's where it is, bud. I could oh yeah, it's in if you go to my main page, go to the you'll see my profile. It'll say Instagram and one more link. The one more link. Oh fuck it, I'll just pin it. The one more link is the PayPal, but I'll just pin it. I'll pin it here. I'll pin it here. I might be able to grift off that. I might be able to grift off it. Whoop. Pin. What are you doing? What are you doing? Pin message. There you go. Boom. Well, okay, that's weird. Okay. I don't even know if it worked. YouTube's being. Oh, I thought YouTube was going to crash. I was going to say YouTube looks like it's on the verge of crashing. So apparently it's up. I can't see it, but apparently it's up. I can't be. Let's carry on. I ain't fucking around no. I ain't fucking around no longer. Marty Gray. Oh yeah, the cast. Yeah, I thought the Anne Hathaway was way over the top. She was trying to. It is pinned. Okay. She was trying to act in a version of the film that the other actors weren't in. And they weren't reciprocating her overacting. So she kind of came across as a wee bit ludicrous. Patterson started to chew the scenery towards the end. I actually thought it's quite funny. Probably not intentionally so, but there you go. But yeah, it was, and then Odysseus was just very one note. Just very one note, and yeah, I was disappointed. Marty Gray with a £10 says the intrepid Ithacans, more like the despoiling dingputs. Well, on their first stop, they raid the villagers. And in raiding the villagers, they're stealing food, they're doing some raping. And then it's Odysseus that wants to get back to the ships quickly But from what I can remember, it's his crewmen that want to stay on the beach and eat. And that allows the villagers to reform and do a counterattack, which kills 6 men from each ship, I believe. It was 6 men from each ship. But they didn't do that. You saw like a couple of buildings, a couple of little huts on fire, and then an Indian and a black guy telling one of the villagers, "We're Greeks from Ithaca." Sure, Jan. Martino Simone with a
100 Swiss super chatter.
This is a red super chat. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Martino. It's a big fat red super dupery. Thank you, but thank you, Martino. Hope you're doing well as well. Hope you're doing well. Carl Hauser with a 10 Canadian says, "You want a real Cyclops? Cast G1 Shockwave. There will be no sequel." Yeah, you would have just blowed them up in the cave. It would have just blowed them up in the cave. Yeah, Shockwave's the only Cyclops I need. Oh, sorry, 3 hours sleep. Sorry, guys. Big PD81 with a $20. Hail as awesome show. Great review on the Odyssey. Odyssey. Started playing Windrose, a true pirate game. Thoughts on if you've been playing it? If not, so far very fun. One day at a time. Cheers, mate. We did some Windrose on Sunday Fun Day when they put it out for beta testing, and loved it. Loved it. A lot of fun. I haven't been able to get onto the full release yet. Even had the one of the developers come in my stream when we were streaming it on Sunday Fun Day, and we had good chats with them. Come across as good people. Came across as good peeps, you know. Good peoples, you know. Came across like good peeps, you know. Or a Mr. Sedic, maybe not, with a 25 Arab Emirates somethings. I came back from watching it, and now the Indian guy saying we're Greeks, plus the Asian Greeks, took me out the most, more than Ellen Page and Lupita. It was like as I said in my review, this is the death of verisimilitude. It is the death of it. Because you just get pulled out way too many times. Jarringly. If it's the language, if it's the casting, you consistently pulled out. This didn't feel like a mythological epic. It felt like a Californian spurg. It's very disappointing. Very disappointing. We were Greeks, channeling some PPP there. Basil with a $5 says the race swapping is not only is it stupid, it's only one-sided. We'll get to it in a second. The only white lead character that won't be race swapped for a black actor is Tarzan. Oh, they would. Yeah, they ain't ever going to do that. But yeah, look, race swapping it only goes one way. It only goes one way, and the reason why again the characters were swapped out is because it was about representation. That is what the Emily Wilson, one of her themes is representation. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. Inkawell with the $2 is the Odyssey 2, The Coming of Ray Pitler. Oh my God. And Mr. Sedic with a 25 Arabian. They didn't depict any myth in the fucking Odyssey. We barely see any magic, sirens, normal women, and the rest were covered in shadow or outside of the camera view. Yeah, you would only believe that there's an insinuation of gods. And if Athena didn't appear, and she appears very sparingly, then you wouldn't even necessarily believe that Poseidon existed or Zeus existed. Calypso, Calypso could have been just a regular woman that was feeding Lotus to Odysseus. That's what she just came across as. There was no, that was one of my biggest disappointments, was the lack of mythology, really. Like the giants, for example. They were just bigger humans in clunky armor, as opposed to these massive cannibals. Crimson Shadow with a £3 super sticker. It's going to be a fist bump. Ministry of Wrong Think with a 38 months says, to be fair, Norway probably only had 3 Viking ships to give them. How about Greeks? Jaded Fat with a
$100 super chatter.
I'm an adaptation purist. Make the thing faithfully. If it doesn't translate well to film, explain your decision making. If you're not going to do that, state it up front. I'm making my version of this thing. Don't expect it to be a truly faithful adaptation. As I said, this is a Emily Wilson adaptation. He's going on that adaptation of the Odyssey. Not Homer's, Emily Wilson's. Sadly. Would it have been so hard to cut 20 minutes out of Ithaca and give it to, say, the Lotus Eaters? Not the whole 20 minutes. You could have even had just, I don't know, 10 fucking minutes with the Lotus Eaters. Doom Guy with a 36-month, thank you. But they wanted the Lotus Eaters gone and merged with Calypso so that they could absolve Calypso of any wrongdoing. That's why he did it. I think I went through it earlier, but that's why he did it. He wanted to absolve Calypso of her evil, because can't have evil woman holding Odysseus against his will. Okay. Sorry, folks. Normal Man with a 10 Canadian says, I'm sick and tired of depression plots. Enough already. Let me enjoy my heroic characters. That's what I said. That's another reason why I said in my review, I would rather have Michael Bay. I'd rather have a Michael Bay Odyssey than a Christopher Nolan one. Because at least Michael Bay's would have been exciting and exhilarating and mythological and explosive. And this was very dreary and dull. And there was no heroicism. There was barely any mythology. I need some hope core. I need some hope core. There's just so much deconstruction all the time. Hey, let's deconstruct this. Let's deconstruct that. Let's deconstruct the other. I want some heroicism. That's what I want. I want some heroicism. Jason Nelson with the $2 says, I wonder if RMB likes verisimilitude in the Odyssey. I don't know. I don't know what Robert's take on the film is. Normal Man with a 5 Canadian says, if anyone in Hollywood had any stones, they'd do an adaptation of the Aeneid. That's where Sinon comes from, by the way. That's what Sinon appears in. On second thought, I hope current Hollywood does not touch it. Yeah, I don't want current Hollywood to touch any of this shit. Go for Broke with a $10 says, hi, Az, heard Mauler say this on EFAP. Did you hear the Kratos actor for the TV show tore his bicep and will have to be recast and all episodes reshot? Will have to be reshot. Yes. Yeah, the guy injured his bicep on set. They reckon it's going to take too long to heal. So they're recasting the role of Kratos. And they're having to reshoot they got 4 episodes. They had 4 episodes finished. Now they're going to have to reshoot those 4 episodes. Paul J. Davey with a 5 Australian. What's the better movie? Uwe Boll's Odyssey or Christopher Nolan's Citizen Vigilante? I would rather watch Uwe Boll's Odyssey. I really would. It might be hilariously bad, but it would be entertaining as fuck one way or another. Sean Tower with a 10 Canadian. Other than me and Critical Nerdvid, nobody's noticing the ever-changing goalpost on the Odyssey box office. Now they are saying before 130 to 150, then 117 to 130, then 90 to 108, now 80 to 105. Looking at what it did on Friday, as I've said, my guesstimate is probably 121 to 125. That's my guesstimate based on the Friday take. I reckon it's gonna open with about 100 there has been a lot of different speculations about what it's going to end on. But if you did 35 million on the Friday and he did 17 point something on the preview night, I could see the Saturday being 40. I could see the Sunday being 35. So I could see this being 121 to 125 opening. We'll find out soon enough. The numbers are starting to slide in. Mona's in, Toy Story's in, Evil Dead Burns in. The Invite's gone back up again. Young Washington's in, Obsession's in, Supergirl's in. Supergirl, shall we see how Supergirl's doing? Do you want to see the sacred cow that Angry Joe lost his shit about? He said it was crap, but he still told his viewers to go see it so he could have more crap because it's all about him and not about respecting his viewers' time or money. I've got to work on that song. I've got to work on that. It's not quite flowing. What did Super... It did 1.5 million the whole weekend. It did 1.5 million the whole weekend. That was better than Travis Scott. That was still better than Travis Scott. Oi, oi, oi. 61% down on the Friday, 57% down on the Saturday, 60. How is it still having these huge drops? Down 77, 56, 59. That is ridiculous. How can it still have those drops? How? It's at 120. I think the international still got to be updated. I think this is updated up to Thursday night. So this still has Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but last week that only came to 5 million. So this week, expect it to probably be 2 million. So Supergirl will probably go to about 122 million. It's not going to hit Blue Beetle. It's not going to get to Blue Beetle without adjusting for inflation. Blue Beetle did 130.8. Did 130.8. So 131. This. No. This ain't even gonna beat Blue Beetle. It ain't gonna beat Blue Beetle. It's crazy. Still waiting on the Odyssey's numbers. The numbers are also predicting 120 million. So that they're in the same kind of place that I am. I reckon 121 to 125. 121 to 125. Domestic, that is. Not worldwide, domestic, that is. Right. Where are we? Odshidor with a $5 says under the influence of substances, still not consensual acts with Calypso. How did they square that? Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at it, drugging somebody so they forget about their family, even if that person falls in love with you, you know that you've been drugging them. You know that you've made them forget the family. So it's still fucking rape. Still rape. If it was the other way round, there would be an issue. But because it's a man that's being raped, there's no issue. And Calypso kept saying, you were happy here. You were happy. We were happy. So they were kind of coping that she was trying to pretend that he had his own autonomy when he didn't. He didn't, because he was drugged. He was drugged. But they're never going to reconcile a female. They're never going to do that. They're never going to. Look, women is to accountability that. No, I can't say what I was going to say as an equivalent because I would have been. Okay. I would have been banned. The Prophet has been a member for 11 months. Thank you. DB with a £5. Hey, Az, have you seen that new co-op gate? Dear passengers. Oh, yes. Sunday fun day on a plane. Keep up the good work, buddy. Oh, yeah. We've already got that eyed for Sunday fun day when it comes out. 100%. That looks like it's going to be hilarious for Sunday fun day. Why is the 250 million budget not being questioned? It's always more, always. The reason why is, first and foremost, always play their game first, right? Always play their game. So play the game with the numbers that they provide. So with the numbers that they provide, 250 budget, 125 marketing, requires 750 million to break even. There or thereabouts, okay? I don't believe the marketing's 125 million. Never mind the production budget. I don't believe the marketing is 125 million. I think it's likely more. Do I think the production budget's more? I don't know. Because a lot. I would say that it's much more likely that the Odyssey's 250 million budget than a Marvel film. That's what I would say. But was any of the Odyssey filmed in the UK? Well, yeah, I mean, they went to they filmed in Scotland. So we might eventually find out exactly how much the budget truly is. But you will get some tax break. I would say, I mean, in today's day and age, 250 is always the safe number to go to. If it turned out to be 350, 300, would I be surprised? No. But if we play the game with their numbers, it can always be adjusted accordingly when we get the true numbers. So it's better to play their game. And then if we get true numbers, bang, we can do the adjustment immediately. Oh, it didn't make 50 million. It actually lost 50 million because the budget was. So it's always safer to do that. See you later, Lady G. Have a good weekend. Beach Lover with a €5 says, today is Sunday. The weekend is already nearly over. Well, it's Sunday is the beginning. It's the first day. This is the new week. Till today, it's 80 millions worldwide. Not in yet. Numbers not in yet. Ryan Welsh has been a member for 47. Thank you, Ryan. Steve Mack with a £2 says, woke DI bullshit must go or all films will die. Now then, if people want to fight, let's say the Odyssey is a great success. It goes off, it does $1 billion, right? No skin off my nose. If the lesson they want to take from that is, oh, look, representation does work, then I think Hollywood is going to find themselves in serious trouble. Even more trouble than they're already in. Because Hollywood always learned the wrong lessons. But we need to wait and see where this actually does end, where this does fall. Because I think there's a story to come here. I don't know what it is, but there's a story to come. Box Office Mojo is exceedingly unreliable. That's why I use the numbers and wait for the numbers. Box Office Mojo is showing 72 million, not on the Friday. So this is just the Friday. Is 73 million. But I'm waiting for the numbers to report. The numbers tend to be much, much more accurate, much better. So we'll see. He'll come in. He'll come in soon enough. He'll come in soon enough. Kingdom Hearts Gamer with a $20. I don't know why the Odyssey is rated R if the movie doesn't have any blood in it. It's probably because the two fucks. You can have one, but they put two in. And I don't even know why they, as I said earlier, I don't even know why they had them. They weren't, they were literally just like out of nowhere. They didn't need to be in the film at all. Did Oppenheimer open in China after a month like the Odyssey is? I don't know how long. I don't know. But it's opening later in China and Japan and other countries like that. Probably South Korea. In a few weeks' time, in August. But yeah, they could have taken those two fucks. I mean, I don't give two fucks about the movie. But there was no need for them to be in. There wasn't any gore, even with the Cyclops eating the soldiers. You didn't see anything. You didn't really see anything. They kind of did it in the dark. Ministry of Wrong Thing with the $5 says, don't forget, Nolan secured a 20% gross first dollar deal with Universal. So he'll get a big chunk of the theoretical 850 mil. Well, surely the chunk could only operate off the profit, not the take, the profit. It would make no sense if it was not. So if, let's just say, for argument's sake, 100 million profit, if he grabbed himself 20 million because of that, I don't know. Now to be sniffed at. Kalioth with a $5 says the Odyssey suffers from its identity. It's no Lord of the Rings. Ma and Pa won't wander in to see it. They're at work or enjoying a summer cookout. I do see this. I would say though that it isn't made for them. If we have to kind of go down that unfortunate use of verbiage. The way that they've dubbed down the language, the way that they've changed it to Emily Wilson's version, the way that they've deconstructed Odysseus, this is very much trying to appeal to a younger audience. I don't mean younger as in kids. I mean a youthful audience, 20s, Gen Zs. That's who this is targeting. You know, your Gen Xers we're too old. We grew up before the internet. We don't fall for this bullshit. And millennials. I'd say it's also made for millennials as well. Sideless with a $5 says, we all know China absolutely adores prominent African-American actors in movies, and it's never affected the box office before. Yeah, China loves themselves some diversity. Yay. Beach Lover with a €5 says, practical was normal in the past. It shouldn't be anything praiseworthy. I mean, we've got to the point where it has become praiseworthy because there is such an over-reliance on CGI. And, of course, practical brings that believability and authenticity. CGI is so bad now. A lot of films are very difficult to... They're very difficult to get the verisimilitude because... You can't believe the world when it's just chock-a-block full of slop CGI. It's like, oof, well, that was awkward. That pulled me completely out the film. CGI is getting worse as well, by the way. Lady G with a $5 says, do you think Nolan beats Doomsday? That's an interesting question. That is an interesting question because I think Spider-Man's going to beat Doomsday. I think Spider-Man's going to do more than Doomsday. I think Doomsday is going to open big, but I think it's going to be slop. I think it's going to be absolute slop. And it's going to have some big drop-offs. There is a... if let's play the game I was playing earlier. Let's say that the Odyssey ends on 850 million. Is that enough to beat Doomsday? I would say there's a chance. There's a chance. But my gut, and it is substantial, my gut, is telling me probably not. But it all depends. I mean, when do we get the first trailer? Very soon? Comic-Con? We're going to get the first trailer at Comic-Con. And we'll get an idea about what this thing's looking like. You know, is it just going to look like generic Marvel slop? Wow. Kalioth with a $2 says they keep hoping for Titanic, but they got Zendaya. Zendaya, this film's got shitloads more issues before you even have to get to the overcasting of Zendaya. Zendaya is the least egregious thing about this film. Darkman Lord with a $2 says Odyssey is having, the camera's on honeymoon. It's gonna have a big weekend, but just how big? Larry Escher with a $2 says, how was getting on the scale again? Good news. I decided not to do it. I actually decided not to do it. And just keep going. Just keep going down the route that I'm going down. I am noticing some changes. I am feeling some changes. But I don't want to mentally go there right now. Soon, but not right now. And it's helping. It's helping. It's helping just kind of going down and making sure that I keep my my patterns going. You'll find out. When I do, you'll find out. I'll tell you on a Sunday Fun Day. Peter the Pumpkin Eater has been a member for 30 months. Thank you, Peter. Harry Brown, with a 2 Canadian. We're in the Bronze Age, more like tarded age. Retards can be in any age, you know. And any age. Doc Possum with a $5 says, congrats on 66 days as I'm on day 53 and feeling great. It took me breaking my shoulder to get back in shape. Well done. Keep going. Keep going. Dreadnought Logan with a $5 says, I think most people don't know what a dictator is and don't care if they know. When I first heard the name, I thought of Christopher Robin. As is blooming into a beautiful woman. Thank you. Taker 610 with a $5 says, I think I paid around $18 to $20 in 2009 when I saw Avatar. Premium price and the novelty of 3D really helped push that box office back then. Yes. Okay. Well, I was pretty much spot on with my prediction based off the Friday. The Odyssey, 124.5 million. 124.5 million domestic opening. So it's about 35-40 million off Toy Story 5 and Super Mario. But I said I could see it doing 42 on the Saturday. It did 41.6. I think I said about 35 on the Sunday. This might be down because the World Cup final tonight might actually prevent some people from going to see it tonight. So the Sunday might be a little lighter because of that. But 124.5 we got there. And now we're waiting for the international to come in to see what the worldwide is. Yeah. Well, going to the see if people watch the World Cup this afternoon, whenever it kicks off in America, it still might prevent them from going on Sunday. Because they might decide to do a cookout afterwards or something, have a end of the World Cup party. You never know. Larry Escher with a $2 says, what or where is your PayPal link? It is now pinned. Bill Palia with a $10 says, the Odyssey at my local AMC has plenty of seats available. So either they're not buying them online or they're going in person. I won't be one of those going to see it. I imagine it. I reckon this is probably more footfall. And it's the IMAXs which are booked for weeks at the minute. So people are wanting to go see it in IMAX. And there's a lot, because it's all filmed in IMAX, there is a lot cut from this in terms of what you can physically see at the regular cinemas. Barmadiga has been a member for 40 months. Thank you. Steve Rossman with a $20 says, congrats today, 66. And many more. Thank you. Barmadiga with a $2 says, Odyssey's no different than Rings of Power. It's better than Rings of Power, but I understand the comparison. My video for the review was nearly named The Odyssey is to Homer what Rings of Power is to Tolkien. That's what the title nearly was. But then I thought Death of Verisimilitude was just more succinct. But I was going to go with The Odyssey is to Homer what Rings of Power is to Tolkien. Mr. Tuning Slang with a 35 Zaras says, Peter Parktrukalias, greetings from South Africa, where it's too expensive to go watch a movie in IMAX. $280 for a ticket. Oh, wait, blimey. Blimey. Thank you. Andy Miller with a £20. I changed my rating from 9 down to 1 everywhere. Nolan is seditious, not just subverting. EFAP did a great job. The casting and all the noise is a distraction. Nolan inverted everything Homer taught 2,700 years of societies. Yeah, it was Emily Wilson's version, which is a deconstruction of of everything, really. Everything. Boink. Oi, oi, oi. Excusez-moi. Andy Miller with a £2 says, nothing to do with Wilson. This is all Nolan. Oh, Nolan. I mean, Nolan wanted to do it. He wanted to do this. It was his decision. But it's going off her version of the Odyssey. But it's his decision to make. He has all the blame or all the praise to take. Red October, the $5 says, feel the same as I did after Napoleon. Sold on a big budget, epic drama, actually got mid and lost an opportunity. Not horrible. A movie, just feel cheated. I honestly, hand on heart, honestly, I enjoyed Napoleon more than this. I definitely enjoyed, and I know Napoleon had some massive leaps from historical accuracy, but I actually enjoyed Napoleon more than I did the Odyssey. 3 hours sleep. Logan Cobbs Toussaint has become a member again. Thank you, Logan. Bill Palia with a 30-month membership. Thank you, Bill. Thumper with a $5 says, USA here. I love the way you Brits say aluminium and beta. Glad you watched the Odyssey. I could never. Anywho, much love. Thank you. Same to you. Same to you. Harry Brown, with a 2 Canadian. Zeus equals thunder is like young Frankenstein. Frau Blucher. The Matt Man has been a member for 62 months. Matt, thank you. Gristle McThornbody with a $5 says, I can't wait for Kratos to be recast with Elliot Page, the mightiest of Greek warriors. Do it. Do it. If you don't, you're a fucking coward. Do it. Logan Cobbs Toussaint with a $5 says, happy Sunday has been forever since I was able to catch a live show. Can't wait for Sunday Fun Day later. Yeah, boy. Thank you, man. Brockyman with a $5 says, check out Felted Fernando by a no-name artist for a funny take on Angry Joe. Angry Joe's existence is a funny take. Andy Miller with a £2 says, given Odyssey is sold out, it could hit 200 million globally. Oh, it will. I think it's going to do about 250, 260 globally this weekend. I think it's going to be about 260. Still waiting for international to come in. But it's bloody going to soar. I think it's going to soar over that 200. Sideless with a $2. Theaters put Supergirl at bargain prices. Flop. Well, if you didn't see earlier, Supergirl took a whopping $1.5 million this weekend. It's on 120 to 122 million worldwide. Oh, wah, 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 wow. Calioth with a $2 says, notice grape, never an issue till it impacts the message. Well, fucking hell. YouTube's crashed 3 times now. Can't have a woman rape a dude. That's not the done thing. Not for those people. Dave Pool's been a member for 41. Thank you, Dave Pool. Gunnies with a $10 says, what's the status on Chat's mum? You never talk about her anymore. That's because it's my personal life. Chat's mum's doing great. She's doing great. We're doing great. She's doing great. I just don't overshare, dude, you know? So I don't tend to go into the ins and outs. But every once in a while I'll just, you know, mention a Chatsman reference or something. But yeah, doing great. Thank you. There's a lesson to be learned in not oversharing. There's a few YouTubers that need to learn that one. Danesley for the €6 says, you know what the truth is, as not every pee-pee time is poo-poo time, but every poo-poo time is pee-pee time. It's very true. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Klein Dropper with a $5 says, this is Nolan's The Last Jedi. It will make money, but he lost the trust of the audience. Tricking people with a year of pre-sales is diabolical. I don't think as bad. I don't think as bad at all, because there are a lot of people that are liking the film. I would say more so than the division that The Last Jedi had. Will it make people more wary of Nolan in the future? Maybe. I think there might be a more critical eye cast upon him. But if this ends up being a massive hit, then I'd say it won't affect him in the slightest. Sean Tower with another 10 Canadian says, just my 2 cents. Spectacle Bros, my term, cause a great deal of damage as long as the video has great optics. Story doesn't matter, and they simp because of the visual. I don't think this film's particularly visually breathtaking, though. I think it's a very ugly looking film for the most part. Every island looks the same. Washed out filters. I don't think this is like Nolan's done some incredibly, you know, visually impressive movies. Inception being one of them for a start. Like I said, I never felt the epic. A lot of people have been using the word epic with this film. I never saw epic anywhere. Everything felt small. Everything felt very confined. I never got a scale of epicness. Ever. Excalibur's way more epic and colorful. I'm happy with a 6 shekels says, did you see Ben Shapiro's review of the Odyssey? The last person I will ever go to see a review on pop culture is Ben fucking Shapiro. Somebody whose take I never have to see. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Daily Wire. I'm certainly not a fan of Shapiro. I don't give two shits about people who don't give 2 shits about pop culture. And politics is downstream of culture. Malcolm Tucker with a 45 months has sent a picture on X of the new kitty. Hope you got it, because I really don't know what I'm doing on there. I'll check it later. Bushin Ryu Cat with a $10 says, once upon a time we had action films, then artsy films. The artsy director says, take a break and watch a thoughtful movie. Now action films are artsy. So why I need an artsy film to think about issues? No lies detected. No lies detected. I just want some entertainment, some fun, some fantasy, some masculinity. Hollywood don't want to give us any of that. And Bushin Ryo Cat's been a member now for 19. Thank you. Shawnee Tower with another 10 Canadian says, if the Odyssey drops 20% from Friday to 20% to Saturday and then 20% Sunday, Is that not a 60% drop in just 3 days? Well, the Friday incorporates the Thursday's number. So the Friday, 51 million on the Friday, is the Thursday and the Friday together. So Friday going from 51 to 41.6 on the Saturday is technically a loss of 18%, but it's not, because it actually is up 6 million odd from the Friday. So those numbers are a little bit skewed. And then the drop from the Saturday to the Sunday, and bear in mind, these are predictive numbers. They'll be verified tomorrow night. That's 24%. So in theory, the drop is going to be around about, if you want to do a drop over the weekend, which is a little unfair because it is behaving the way that a weekend behaves. Solid Friday, more on a Saturday, less on the Sunday. So yeah, the if you're going to be looking at comparisons, minus numbers, drop-offs, it's got to be week to week. You've got to let the film breathe. You've got to let the film produce some numbers. And then you just do your comparison Friday to Friday, Saturday to Saturday, Sunday to Sunday. It's the fairest way of doing it. Nobody's looking to fudge no numbers to. I'm not looking to fudge no numbers to push a narrative. I have criticisms of the film. I think the film's mid, but there is absolutely no reason for me to fudge no numbers or to try and tweak them or move them around to fit a narrative that I want to produce. Nah. Let's see where they lie. Red October with a $5 says Hollywood learns wrong lessons because the entire liberal education teaches them we must consume whatever and be happy. No customers, no opinions, no ownership. Well, they love repeating the same mistakes, but they are hiring people that will only ever make those mistakes because they don't actually know how to make good stuff. Kung Fu Hot Dog with a £5 says, hey, Az, after removing my blindfold, I still don't believe the Odyssey is a Nolan film. Bored me to tears. Makes binge watching Asian films more worthy. It's slow. I don't have a problem with slow pacing, as long as that slow pace is because it's working on stuff. It's working on plot. It's working on story. It's working on development. But for a near 3-hour movie, I was really surprised how quickly so much stuff seemed to just be breezed over. Andy Miller with a £2 says, I originally liked the movie, then I analyzed it. We can all be prisoners of the moment. I know I've been a prisoner of the moment, prisoner of the now. That's happened. You know, sometimes you do just have to take a little bit to breathe. I came out of Superman. I gave Superman a 5. Then the next day I did this. I did Afternoon Tea with Az, and I went through everything that I didn't like. And Mikey Gusler rightfully said, Az, how can you give this a 5 out of 10, an average? Because 5 out of 10 is average. It's mid. I work off that system. How can you give it an average when you've absolutely slated and destroyed the film? And he was right. So I adjusted the 5 down to a 4. And then later that 4 down to a 3. Coops Girl has been a member for 49 months. Thank you. And Brocky Man with a $10. If I hear about a great baker and go to his bakery to buy a cake, and I peek through the window and he's putting human feces into the cake mix, why the hell would I buy a cake there? That's Nolan. even with the bad casting, what I would call bad casting, with Christopher Nolan, you never know. He could put out something spectacular. I don't think he did this time around. I don't think he did at all this time around. Not in the slightest. And I really enjoyed Oppenheimer. I thought Oppenheimer was great. Duty Streams has been a member for 13 months. Duty, thank you. Quellappy with a 6 shekels says, did you watch the Backrooms movie? I haven't seen it yet. When they come out on digital, I'll grab them. Or maybe just wait till 4K and get it in 4K. But it is a film I do want to watch. And Cameron Kirby with a 16-month membership. Cameron, thank you. Right. I'm going to call it there for today because I'm going to be back in an hour and 15 minutes with Sunday Fun Day. And we're going to be playing The Mound, a Call of Cthulhu. The Mound. So I want to give a massive thank you to everyone who's come to watch today. Oh, hold on. Hold on. We've got the international in. Wait, something's not right here. The international, the reckoning is 139.5 million, which would make this a 250. But some reason, yeah, I'm gonna grab a quick hour's sleep. For some reason, they've reduced the box office back down to just Friday, and they took the Saturday, Sunday off. But based on the reporting of 124, so 250, it's going to be 260, about 265-ish worldwide for the opening weekend. About 260 mil. But to be confirmed when everything's done, because the numbers is even a little bit off right now. No, the numbers is corrected. 264. 264 million worldwide opening weekend. Oh, I'm absolutely setting an alarm. Worldwide. 264. So now the real game begins, because now we see its performance during the week, how it does at next weekend, and then enter Spider-Man the week after. So this is a long game that we're playing here. This is a long game. So massive thank you to everyone who came to watch today. Mods, thank you for giving up your free time. Everyone who super chatted, membered, remembered, gifted memberships, thank you for supporting the channel. The poll results. Did you enjoy the Odyssey? Yes. 7%. It was okay. 16%. No. 77%. Wow. Wow. And I'll see you guys and gals in about an hour and a quarter for now for Sunday Fun Day. Until then, you take care. Goodbye, beloved.